Good morning, good morning, good morning. Wow, what a beautiful morning. The sun is shining, we are alive. So that is something to celebrate. Celebrate the little things. So what I'm going to talk to you about today, you know I have my most insightful thoughts while I'm driving. And I'm always driving when I'm going to work by myself. So that's always a good time for me to think and just get still with my thoughts. And today I want to talk to you, following on from yesterday when I talked about believing in yourself. I had a huge response in my inbox on Facebook, people talking to me about belief. So continuing on from that today, I thought I'd talk about fear and why it stops us. Why do we, what we're afraid of? What is it that makes us afraid? And there's two reasons why we're, well, there's more than two reasons, but some of the reasons why we're afraid is that we're fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear we're going to be laughed at. So that's normally what most people are afraid of. And the thing is, if you let it, fear will stop you in your tracks and completely paralyze you, and you will achieve absolutely nothing. You'll never achieve what you are here to achieve if you are afraid. And fear is only as powerful as the power that we give it. So we're only born frightened of two things, okay? Two things, and that is the fear of loud noises and the fear of falling. They're the only two things that we are born afraid of. So everything else is learned behaviour. So we learn to be frightened of spiders. We learn to be afraid of speaking on stage. You know, we learn all of those fears. So one of my light bulb moments, which came last year, was if we can learn to be afraid, then we can unlearn it. And that is one of the things that I want to talk to you about today. So fear, what is it, why it stops us, and what we can do about it. Now the thing is, you will always be afraid. There you go, there's another light bulb moment for you. You will always be afraid. And guess what? That's okay. It's okay to be afraid. But what isn't okay is allowing that fear to stop you. So you need to find ways to get through that fear. One of the books that I would recommend if you haven't read it before, or it's also available on audiobook, is Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. Morning Dana, morning Penny. I've listened to that audiobook on multiple occasions, and there are lots of little nuggets in there that you can take away and you can implement into your own life. But yes, so feel the fear but do it anyway. So you are going to be afraid regardless. It's just the way you manage that fear, the things you put in place to help you deal with that fear. So somebody who is terrified of going on stage will use that energy to pump themselves up so they can get really excited and give themselves a different level of energy to deal with that fear of going on stage. Somebody else who's going onto the same stage, who's equally afraid, will stand there and wring their hands and be really negative about that fear. And they're not managing that fear is managing them. So you need to find your mechanisms, your coping strategies to deal with that fear. And one of the things that I've learned is, and I learned this from one of the leaders in my company, when we had a mini convention in Birmingham last year, and I'm going to give her a shout out. Her name's Nadine Ward. She did a talk on the elastic band method, and that was a method where you wear an elastic band, particularly if you know you're going into a circumstance that you're going to be fearful of, and you have an elastic band on your left hand, I think it was. I'm not particularly sure if it mattered what hand it was on, but you have this band on, and every time you are having a thought that is or you're frightened, you ping the elastic band. And that is, my understanding is it has something to do with neuro-linguistic programming. So when you have that fear, you ping it to reprogram your mind to think of something positive, because that pain is going to make you think of something else, okay, and take you away from that thought or that fear that you're encountering at that particular moment in time. So get yourself an elastic band is one of the recommendations, and wear it until you learn to manage whatever situation you're in and whatever situation you may be fearful of. My advice to you, I've just missed my turning, so I'm having to turn around, is that whatever it is that you are afraid of that is stopping you, you need to find another way to think of the reasons why you should be doing something. So I'll give you an example, because there's no point just saying it and not giving an example. So people say to me, oh my gosh, you're so confident, and I am confident about what I'm talking about in terms of the fact, because I know what I'm talking about. So when I'm talking about my company and my business, I have made it my priority to learn absolutely everything that I need to know about my company. Now, don't get me wrong, I can't regurgitate everything, you know, verbatim back to you, but I know enough to help me to grow and manage my business. And that is, hang on, I'm just looking where I need to go. And that is when you know what you're talking about, that gives you confidence. So you become less afraid. When you know what you're talking about, you become less afraid. So preparation sometimes is just as important, because you can allow yourself to become fearful because you're unprepared. So give yourself a fighting chance by getting prepared, so for whatever that might be. So yes, I'm just about to arrive at my destination here a little bit quicker than I thought it was going to be, so I'm going to have to speed up. So yes, so fear, don't let it stop you. Acknowledge the fact that we are all afraid of something, and find a way to manage that fear. And if the elastic band method can work for you, try it, give it a go. It won't hurt you. An elastic band costs £0, very little amount of money, and try it and let me know how you get on. Have a wonderful day. I'm just going to pull into my destination, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care, have a great day, bye.